Welcome to our channel. Is life really better in the USA or Europe? That's the question we're going to explore today. Many people dream of living in either the USA or Europe, but which one offers a better quality of life? Let's find out together. Let's start with cost of living. Depending on where you're moving from and moving to, Europe can offer a lower cost of living compared to many US cities. With reasonable rents, affordable healthcare, and less reliance on cars, you can save a lot. In the USA, the cost of living can vary greatly depending on the state, with major cities like New York and San Francisco being particularly high. On the other hand, Europe offers a more uniform cost of living, with many countries providing affordable healthcare and education. Of course, every area is unique, and some areas are more expensive. Still, it's been possible to choose affordable options throughout Europe, so it all balances out to be more affordable to travel slowly or live in Europe than to live in the USA. Next, let's talk about healthcare. One of the biggest savings in the cost of living in Europe is healthcare, because most European countries offer completely subsidized free healthcare for residents. This means no health insurance premiums, deductibles, or co-pays. While some have argued that socializing healthcare reduces quality, there is evidence that healthcare services in Europe achieve better outcomes, including higher life expectancies, than in the United States. The USA is known for having world-class healthcare facilities, but the cost of healthcare is a major concern for many Americans. In Europe, on the other hand, universal healthcare is often provided by the government, ensuring that everyone has access to medical services. Moving on to taxes. Taxes are higher in Europe and include a value-added tax, VAT, that can range as high as 27%. This sales tax is refundable for American tourists if they obtain and complete VAT refund paperwork and do not use the goods before returning to the United States. Even with VAT, many European goods and services are still less expensive than the same or similar items in the United States. Another benefit is that Americans who pay U.S. income tax do not necessarily have to pay European income tax even if they live there. Member countries of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, have the highest tax rates in Europe, with an average personal tax rate of 42.8% in 2024. That means after tax, income for high-earning Americans is higher than it is for their European counterparts. Next, let's talk about safety. Denmark, Ireland, Austria, Portugal, and Switzerland are among the safest countries in Europe, which ranks as the safest continent in the world, with 14 of the 20 safest countries on the globe. Mass shootings and firearm-related incidents have unfortunately become common in the US. The country grapples with a higher rate of gun violence compared to most European nations and is always notably absent from lists of the world's safest countries. Currently, the United States of America, with a score of 2.45, is ranked 131 in the Global Peace Index. If one seeks out the official crime statistics and compares violent crime in Europe to violent crime in the United States, one can use critical thinking skills to make an informed decision. In fact, it's safer to live in Europe compared to the USA. Moving on to housing. Where a person lives in the United States or in Europe makes a difference in the cost of living, and since residential expenses are among the largest for most households, locality is probably the most significant factor to consider. For example, New York City, San Francisco, and Boston have rental rates well above the national average. Similarly, Paris, Hamburg, and Barcelona have higher than average housing rates within their respective countries. Statistics show Southern Europe to be less expensive than many Northern European destinations. In Berlin, one of Europe's artsiest cities, a typical 3-bedroom apartment in the city center is less than half the price of a similar setup in Boston. Milan, Italy's version of Chicago's city of big shoulders, is 20% less costly. And that's comparing big cities. If we go smaller, Europe can get crazy cheap relative to the US. Before we proceed, I want you to share your life experience living in the USA or Europe in the comment and allow someone learn from you. Moving on to work-life balance. It's no secret that Americans are overworked. Very few Europeans work over 40 hours a week, and in some countries there, they work even less. Sure, some Americans may say that Europeans are lazy and less productive, but this is simply not true. Most European countries have much more worker-friendly labor laws than the United States. Even though Americans are working longer hours than ever and with fewer benefits and rights than ever, the economy is still in the worst shape since the Great Depression. Simply being worked to the bone by employers does not equate to productivity. It only leads to American workers being more stressed and having less free time than Europeans. Next, let's talk about transportation. In general, Europeans drive less because public transport systems are a lot better than in the United States. Americans are already stressed out by work and debt. Then they add on some more by having to drive to and from work. In most cases, through traffic filled with cars driven by other stressed and angry drivers. In Europe, you have the option of commuting via clean and well-run buses, trams, trains, etc., where you can snooze, read, stare out the window, relax, or have some breakfast at your leisure. In the United States, nearly everywhere you live required that you use an auto. Public transportation is just not as available or linked. There are huge gaps that render one stranded. All that driving can cause a lot of air pollution plus production, destruction, fuel, and infrastructure. Moving on to education. European countries provide high-quality and affordable education, and the kicker is that it won't cost you an arm and a leg. Annual tuition ranges from free to just a few $1,000s. Higher education in the US is alarmingly expensive, resulting in significant student loan debt for undergraduate and graduate degrees. Over 44 million Americans owe a staggering $1.7 million in student debt. Next, let's talk about economic opportunities. The United States is synonymous with opportunity, offering a variety of industries and high-paying jobs, especially in technology and healthcare. Its sheer size and job diversity has been drawing foreigners for centuries. The US is a hotbed of innovation, particularly in the tech sector. Did you know that it's home to the most startups in the world? Where you can start a business with ease and tax regulations are often favorable. Job opportunities can be scarce in certain European countries with high unemployment rates such as Spain, Greece, and Italy. Finally, let's consider the overall quality of life. While the USA may offer more opportunities for career advancement and innovation, Europe is often praised for its high quality of life, with excellent public transportation, healthcare, and social services. People living in several countries in Europe are among the happiest in the world and also enjoy a high quality of life. The elements that contribute to quality of life include life expectancy, education, a decent standard of living, economic freedom, the quality of public services and government bureaucracy, and whether government delivers on its promises. In conclusion, the debate between life in the USA and Europe is a complex one. Both have their own unique advantages and disadvantages, and the best choice for you ultimately depends on your own preferences and priorities. What do you think? Let us know in the comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Thanks for watching.